Now, one of the big secrets of writing a good script is very, very simple. Stick to the script. If your actors know their lines, the movie will make sense. It wouldn't make sense for in the middle of the movie, say, you're watching, it doesn't even matter. You're watching the Titanic and Leonardo DiCaprio's cell phone rings. You'd be like, why is that happening? Well, that's not scripted because they didn't have cell phones when the Titanic was around. But he's off script. My point is, you always want to have a script that makes sense. It has to make sense. That's why it's scripted, so that it does make sense, so you don't get off on a tangent. So if we start here, we don't go like this all over the place to there, to the finish. Now, my man, Jordan Belfort, was it? He likes to use a straight line. And I found that that's not necessarily real. The biggest thing is the journey can look like this as long as each of these points is scripted. As long as you're supposed to go. It's more of a map. And you hit the destinations on the map. And they're in order 1, 2, 3. And you hit them. That's the best type of scripting. It's in order, chronological or alphabetical, however you want to look at it, or whatever makes sense. But it's a journey, it's a map. You take your customer, your client, from point A to point B, or whatever their destination is. It could be point D or C or E, F, A, G, doesn't matter. You get them to their destination, and they're supposed to. It's just like when you go on to Google Maps and you type in your address, you hit go, and it gives you a route. Well, you stick to that route so that you don't miss anything. Because as soon as you get off that route, now it's diverted you, you have to go a different way. You don't need to be thinking about that as a salesperson. You need to have the set way in your mind. Just make the turns and hit the checkpoints so that you can stay on track and get to the destination, which would be make a sale. So I like the concept of a straight line. That makes the most sense because it's straight to it. But sometimes it's not feasible because you may have to tell a story. You may have to go on a little bit of a tangent, but if it's planned and it's scripted, it's not a tangent. You're staying inside Jordan Belfort's parameter. You're just doing it intentionally. It's very rare is there something that you could sell where you could say, hey, do you want to buy this? And they go, yes. And you go, okay, let me take your order. Very rarely. You have to sell them on it. You have to convince them. You have to persuade them. They want to buy it, but there's something stopping them. You have to overcome that something because they're not going to buy something that they really don't want to buy. And that's where scripting helps the most because then you can be scripted for, the big 5 objections. What are the big 5? I got to think about it. I got to talk to somebody, talk to my wife, talk to my son, talk to my dad, talk to the tooth fairy. Time. It's not a good time right now. I don't know if it's a good time for me to buy that. Number 4, I can't afford it. It's too expensive. It's too much money. And the last one, the pinky, is trust. I just don't know who you are. I don't know why I would buy this from you. I don't believe what you're telling me. And that's the biggest one. If you have great trust, the other ones will fall away. Period. I have to think about it. I've talked to my dad. I don't know if I can afford it. That's all comes back to the big T, the big trust. And scripting, you can build right up to them trusting you because it's built right in. You don't miss steps. You can be consistent. And you can ask for help. Because if you are scripted and you say, hey, Nick, I really struggle at step number 2 in the script, I can train you on step number 2. Where if you just say, hey, Nick, I keep blowing sales because I just, the script doesn't work. And I'm going to say, well, what part of the script didn't work for you? And you're going to say, I don't know all of it. Well, did you read all of it? Because if you read all of it and they said yes to all the questions, that's a sale because nobody says yes to, can we get this going for you? And then doesn't buy it. You know what I mean? Nobody says yes to the company. Nobody says yes to the price. Nobody says yes to, they like and trust you. They don't go, yes, 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 but I'm never buying your shit. It just wouldn't make sense. So use a script. It will really, really help you be more consistent. It will also help you build a sustainable pipeline because the script keeps the consistency. You always are asking the same questions. You're always hitting the same points. And they are the points that matter. That's why they're part of the script.